Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Alright, without further delay, let us jump right into the recap of Trapped in a Dating Sim Season 1. This anime tells the story of a man who is reincarnated into the world of an otome game, a world where women dominate, and having multiple husbands is considered normal. This world is not unfamiliar to the main character, because he had once completed this game, although he was forced to do so by his little sister. The story begins when a young man is forced by his sister to play a dating simulation game. Even though she was on vacation, he continued playing non-stop, ignoring his own health. After finally finishing the game, he went out to buy some food, but unfortunately, he fell down the stairs and died from exhaustion. When he opened his eyes, he found himself reincarnated as a noble boy named Leon. The world he was born into turned out to be exactly the same as the otome game he had played before. Realizing this, Leon made up his mind to use his knowledge to rise in status. However, as time passed, his ambitions began to fade. He no longer pursued power, and instead chose to live a peaceful life as a happy side character. That is, until he reached his teenage years and was suddenly arranged to marry a woman who was over 50 years old. As the third child in the family, he was also not allowed to enter the academy because of the high tuition fees. Of course, Leon rejected the arranged marriage. In such a limited situation, he decided to go in search of a legendary treasure, a treasure that was supposed to be discovered by the main character of the game. Using a flying vehicle, Leon began his adventure. He explored ancient ruins based on his memories. However, during the journey, his vehicle was hit by strong winds and got damaged. Even so, he managed to land safely. Inside the ruins, he had to fight against guardian robots to gain access to an ancient ship. Not only that, but within the ship, there was another robot that was far more intelligent and much harder to defeat. But Leon did not give up. Using his special sword, he managed to trick the robot and strike its weak point. Eventually, he succeeded in reaching the control room of the ship. Because his personality was compatible with the system of the ancient civilization, Leon was granted ownership of the ship. He returned home carrying enormous wealth. With that treasure, Leon was finally able to reject the arranged marriage and continue his plan to enter the academy. After discovering a new floating island during his journey, he was even granted the title of Baron by the kingdom. However, this title was not just an empty name. As a low-ranking noble, he was now required to study diligently, avoid laziness, and find a potential wife from among the high-ranking students at the academy. For the next 3 years, Leon would study etiquette, magic, and adventuring rules. But attending the academy was no easy task. He had to compete with elite nobles, including princes and members of the royal family. Yet once he entered the academy, Leon began to feel that something was off. Prince Julius, who was supposed to be close to Olivia, was instead showing interest in a foreign student named Marie. This put his official fiancée, Angelica, in a difficult position. Angelica struggled to separate them, especially since Julius himself started to openly express his affection for Marie. One day, the students received a lesson about how to host a tea party. Although Leon felt bored at first, when his teacher appointed him, he suddenly felt excited and eagerly prepared everything. Unfortunately, some of the female students acted disrespectfully and underestimated Leon's efforts. In the middle of that situation, Leon saw Olivia being bullied by other students. Feeling sorry for her, Leon decided to invite Olivia to the tea party he was hosting. Unlike the other students, Olivia genuinely appreciated Leon's effort. From that moment, Leon developed a strong resolve. He wanted to help Olivia escape from the bullying. Following the advice of her older sister, Olivia was guided to start building good relationships with the influential female students at the academy. Sometime later, the students attended an exploration class. During this event, a conflict arose between Julius and Angelica. Angelica scolded Marie for getting too close to her fiancé, but Julius ended up walking away from Angelica and declaring that he did not want to be with her anymore. At that time, Leon and Olivia, who were seen as commoners, were used as bait to lure out a monster. Even though he was alone, Leon managed to defeat the monster. However, while trying to protect Olivia, he was bitten and got injured. Fortunately, Olivia was able to heal his wounds. Shortly after, Julius's group arrived to handle the rest of the situation. When Marie became a victim of bullying, Julius immediately accused Angelica, even though she had done nothing wrong. Meanwhile, Leon and his friends started to feel hopeless because they had not been able to find any partners. Even though they had sent out invitations for tea parties, they were still ignored. One day, while Leon and Olivia were in the library, they saw Marie alone with another man. As someone who came from the same world, Leon realized that Marie truly seemed to be enjoying her new life in this world.
Lucky.
That night, Leon's older sister warned him not to get involved with the princes. She explained that if Leon were to be liked by them, his life would be prosperous. But if he were to be hated, he could end up facing a terrible fate. During the dance party, Angelica once again confronted Marie and asked her to stay away from Julius. She even announced in front of everyone that Marie had been seeing other men besides Julius. Even though Julius's friends were aware of this, they chose to stay silent. This made Angelica furious, and in the heat of the moment, she challenged Marie to a duel. However, Marie refused, and instead, Julius and the 4 other noble boys stepped forward to fight on her behalf. On the other hand, not a single person dared to stand up for Angelica, fearing that they might be disliked by the prince. Leon could no longer remain silent. Based on his knowledge from his past life, he knew that if Angelica were to lose, she would be exiled and live a miserable life. Although Leon had originally planned to stay low-key, he could not tolerate the arrogance of the nobles any longer. Leon then stepped forward and asked Angelica to appoint him as her representative. Although she hesitated at first, Angelica eventually accepted his offer. For the duel format, Leon suggested that they fight using combat armors in the academy arena. He was determined to take on all 5 of them alone, and he was confident that he could defeat them all. The day before the duel, Angelica asked Leon to withdraw. She did not want Leon to suffer the same pain that she had endured. However, Leon firmly refused. He said that he was tired of looking for a bride, and now he only wanted to beat up the people he despised. The next day, when Leon revealed his armor, everyone laughed at him. His armor was an outdated, bulky model that looked heavy and old-fashioned. But to Leon, speed and durability were more important than appearance. Meanwhile, everyone believed that heavy armor like Leon's would never stand a chance against the advanced models used by the prince's group. And so, the duel began. In the first round, Leon faced Brad. From the start, Brad boasted about his weapon, which was made from rare materials and the latest technology. But when Leon drew his own weapon, it turned out to be a shovel. Yes, a shovel. Everyone thought it was a joke, but Leon remained calm. With the shovel in hand, Leon effortlessly dodged all of Brad's attacks. Then, with just one powerful swing, he knocked Brad out instantly. In the second round, he went up against Greg. From his memories, Leon knew that Greg was strong, but also extremely arrogant, and that only fueled Leon's excitement to beat him up. Without hesitation, Leon struck Greg repeatedly with his shovel, humiliating him in front of the entire audience. In the third round, Leon's opponent was Chris, a skilled sword knight. Unlike the previous 2 opponents, Chris was serious and unleashed his full strength from the beginning. Unfortunately for him, that was still not enough. Leon was able to overpower him without much trouble. In the end, Chris surrendered after his sword was destroyed. The audience, who had previously supported the prince, began to panic. Many of them regretted betting large amounts of money on the noble's victory. Next came Jilk, a noble who appeared friendly on the outside, but was actually cunning on the inside. In order to protect the prince, Jilk was willing to do anything to win, even if it meant cheating. While Leon went to the restroom before the duel, Jilk took advantage of the opportunity to force Leon's older sister to plant a bomb on his armor. However, Leon had already realized the plan from the beginning. He knew that the bomb would not affect his old-fashioned armor. When Leon revealed that he was aware of Jilk's dirty trick, Jilk responded by threatening to involve Leon's family. But the threat had no effect. Leon still stepped forward and defeated him. At last, the final duel arrived. Leon's opponent was Prince Julius himself, who wore the strongest armor ever developed by the kingdom. During the battle, Leon tried to make Julius realize that Marie was merely using him. He also explained that Angelica truly loved him. However, Julius refused to listen. He claimed that Angelica was just like any other woman in the palace, that none of them were truly sincere. Julius then accused Leon of becoming arrogant after obtaining powerful armor. Leon did not deny it. Instead, he asked in return, "How does it feel to lose to someone you once looked down on?" Those words enraged Julius. He declared that the duel would not end until one of them was dead. Although Leon admired Julius's courage, he could not kill him, because doing so would only make his position at the academy even worse. So, Leon chose to defeat Julius by utterly humiliating him instead. He did not care, even if every student at the academy now hated him. After winning the duel, Leon immediately went to meet Angelica's parents to take responsibility for the chaos he had caused. He offered a portion of his wealth and his noble title as an apology, hoping to spare his own life and protect his family from further consequences. Since Leon had fought to defend their daughter's honor, Angelica's father agreed to help convey Leon's goodwill to the royal palace. Meanwhile, with Angelica's engagement to Prince Julius officially cancelled, Leon was invited to accompany her on a short trip to the countryside. Olivia also joined them on the journey. Together, they visited the estate of Zola, a noblewoman who had previously caused Leon a lot of trouble. While they were there, Angelica and Olivia spent time together at the bath. Seeing the two of them getting along and enjoying themselves brought Leon a sense of relief. Since their bond had grown closer, Olivia asked Leon to call her Livia, while Angelica wanted to be called Angie. On the other hand, the prince and his followers had their noble statuses revoked by the king. This completely shattered Marie's dream of living a happy life with them. In contrast, Leon, who was previously on the verge of being expelled from the academy, was now honored. He was summoned by the king and officially granted the title of knight. At the moment, all the students at the academy were busy preparing for the school festival. Leon took the initiative to open a cafe. He assigned Livia and Angie to serve as waitresses and welcome the guests. The two of them looked so elegant and refined, far more graceful than most of the other female students. At the same time, Marie and Julius's group also opened a cafe in the room next door. Their cafe was far more luxurious with expensive menu prices. It was all part of Marie's plan. She wanted to take advantage of the former prince's status to attract as many guests as possible. With such thorough preparations, Marie was absolutely confident that her cafe would outperform Leon's. While Livia was trying to promote their cafe, some students seemed rather uninterested. However, because she was close to Angelica, they still behaved politely. Meanwhile, a student named Carla expressed interest in visiting Leon's cafe, but she openly admitted that she only came because she wanted to meet Leon in person. Elsewhere, Angie was escorting a special guest, the Queen, who was disguised as a regular visitor. The Queen wanted to speak with Leon directly. However, at that moment, Leon was dealing with a problem. A female student from a noble family was acting out of line. Arrogantly, she caused a commotion in Leon's cafe, refused to pay, and even insulted both Livia and Angie. Upon witnessing this, the Queen immediately stepped in and stopped the student. Realizing that the woman was actually the Queen, Leon took the opportunity to fight back against those who had ruined the atmosphere. He went on to teach the disruptive students a lesson. Once the situation had calmed down, the Queen revealed her true identity and offered Leon some advice. She also mentioned that this was her first time visiting the school festival, and she wanted it to be a memorable experience. Impressed by her grace, regardless of status or age, Leon spontaneously expressed his feelings and proposed to the Queen on the spot. Judging by her expression, Leon felt that he might have a chance. Unfortunately, before the Queen could give an answer, Julius appeared and separated them. Not long after that, Carla from the Wayne family officially came to ask for Leon's help. Technically, Leon had no obligation to assist her. However, since Livia stepped in as a mediator, Leon finally agreed to help Carla in order to protect her reputation. In the past few days, Leon and his friends had suffered major losses. To make up for it, Leon decided to try his luck in a racing competition. He placed bets in hopes of earning as much money as possible. Thanks to Luxian's precise analysis, every single one of Leon's bets hit the mark, and he managed to collect a huge profit. However, as more students began betting and backing their own favorites, Jilk ended up getting seriously injured and was no longer able to compete. Things became even more complicated when Jilk's fiancé arrived, which made the mood tenser. As part of the organizing committee, Angie needed to quickly find someone to replace Jilk. To repay Angie's father's kindness, Leon decided to step in and take Jilk's place in the race. Once the news spread that Jilk would not be participating, the audience was certain that the senior contestants would easily win. But when Leon entered the race arena, everyone had only one thought in mind. They needed to stop him from winning. Nearly every racer tried to take him down. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the relationship between Angie and Livia began to deteriorate. One of the students who had previously stirred up trouble returned and made the situation even worse. Amidst the pressure, Leon became serious. He modified his vehicle to push beyond the normal speed limits. With incredible speed, he overtook all the racers and secured first place. After that victory, Leon went to see Livia. He wanted to act as a mediator to help mend the relationship between Livia and Angie. Livia also intended to speak to Angie properly. However, before she could do so, Carla came to her room. In truth, Livia did not want to involve Leon in Carla's problem. But because Stephanie's name was behind everything, she could not avoid it. Stephanie's words deeply hurt Livia. She began to question why Leon and Angie were so close to her when she was just a commoner. Stephanie even accused Leon of being interested only in Livia's body because he was unpopular with other women. At the same time, Leon was preparing to face an air pirate attack targeting Carla's estate. Based on his memories, it was Stephanie who had invited those pirates. Even so, Leon chose to confront them because they were carrying an item that could awaken a hidden power within Livia. In addition to Leon, Carla also brought in Brad and Greg to help. Although they were not exactly on good terms, they agreed to cooperate, each for their own reasons. On the other hand, Angie had begun to uncover Stephanie's wicked plan. After Stephanie dared to harass Olivia, Angie confronted her and swore to crush all of them. She immediately began preparing to catch up with Leon and Livia. Moments later, Leon received a report from Luxion that enemy forces were approaching. He quickly ordered Brad and Greg to take action. However, since they were unsure of what to do, Leon decided to face the enemy on his own. Wearing his old armor, Leon was initially underestimated by the air pirates, but the moment he moved, everyone was stunned. He was able to defeat the entire force with ease. When the air pirate captain tried to escape, Leon managed to stop him and captured all of the enemies. Although he could have wiped them out, Leon chose not to kill. He simply wanted to live a normal life. Because her plan had failed, Carla tried to shift all the blame onto Olivia. Fortunately, Carla's father was not so easily deceived. After Leon explained the truth, Carla broke down in tears and confessed everything. When Leon reunited with Livia, he noticed that she looked downcast. Livia had begun to feel that Leon had no real reason to keep helping her. She wanted to stay friends with Leon and Angie, but because of Stephanie's manipulation, she started to believe that she was being treated like a pet. Leon tried to deny it, but he struggled to find the right words to comfort Livia. Not long after, while Leon was outside the ship, he unexpectedly ran into Brad, who was training. Brad, still holding on to the determination to surpass Leon, immediately challenged him to a sword practice session. Meanwhile, Julius and Jilk were secretly planning a way to escape from the palace. However, their plan was quickly shut down by the Queen, who refused to allow it. The next day, as Leon and the others were having lunch, sudden news arrived. Enemy main forces had launched an attack ahead of schedule. Greg and Brad rushed to help. They stayed behind to guard the ship, while Leon took charge on the front lines. Amidst the chaos, Livia went outside, hoping to check on the situation, but she ended up becoming a target. Several enemies landed on the ship and went straight after her. Fortunately, Leon's decision to entrust Livia's safety to Brad and Greg proved to be the right call. Although they were not as strong as Leon, they managed to hold off the attackers and protect Livia. After that, Leon swiftly defeated the enemy leader without showing any mercy. He forced the rest of the enemy soldiers to surrender. From that battle, Leon also recovered a crucial item he had been searching for. However, because of the current tension between him and Olivia, he had not yet given it to her. On the other side, Olivia began to feel regret. She was saddened by the harsh words she had spoken to Leon, and it hurt her even more to realize that Leon no longer called her Livia. Soon after, Angelica's family ship arrived to help wrap up the remaining matters. Once back in the kingdom, Leon handed over the rewards from his mission to Greg and Brad. He even submitted a formal appeal to the palace, requesting that their revoked titles be restored. This gesture impressed Greg and Brad deeply. They believed that Leon was a true knight. Not wanting to fall behind, the two of them also went to the palace and suggested that Leon be given a promotion. Leon was not particularly interested in rising through the ranks, but because his title continued to increase, several girls started approaching him. Unfortunately, all of them only cared about his status, which made Leon feel far from happy. Later on, all of the students boarded a luxurious ship for a study tour. When the annual festival began on the floating island, Livia felt like the atmosphere was a dream. She imagined how wonderful it would be to enjoy the place with her dear friends. By coincidence, Livia happened to visit a shrine and encountered Leon and Angelica there. The atmosphere was awkward at first, but thankfully, a guide stepped in to help them continue their activities together. That simple meeting was enough to begin mending their bond. And for Leon, it was a stroke of luck because he also obtained a holy bracelet that could enhance his power. However, their happiness did not last long. Suddenly, all of the students were surrounded by monsters controlled by Princess Hertraud. The princess openly declared war against the whole Fort Kingdom and captured the noble students as hostages. As a high-ranking noble, Angelica offered herself in exchange so that the other students could be freed. Leon and Livia refused to accept her decision, but they were unable to stop her because the other students actually stood in their way, even going as far as hitting Leon without a hint of remorse. Angelica surrendered herself, but since only 2 people had the courage to resist, Princess Hertraud continued her attack without fear. Leon, who had been imprisoned by his fellow students, was approached by Chris, who pleaded with him to save the hostages. At first, Leon refused, because the others had thrown Angelica away without a second thought, but in the end, he agreed, under one condition: everyone had to fight alongside him. Using his flying vehicle, Leon launched a large-scale assault. He broke through enemy lines to rescue Angelica, who had been taken hostage. Chris and the other students joined in, protecting the ship from incoming attacks. When the ship was about to be struck by the enemy's cannon, Olivia awakened an extraordinary magical power that protected the entire ship, even without the use of a complete magical device. The enemy ship was mounted on top of a massive monster. Without hesitation, Leon charged straight through the creature's mouth. He broke through their defenses, defeated the guards, and took Princess Hertraud as a hostage. Unfortunately, that was still not enough. The enemy forces continued their attack, even though their princess had been captured. Because Olivia had exhausted her strength, Leon was forced to defend the ship all on his own. Angelica, determined to help, awakened her hidden powers. She was able to launch long-range attacks and support Leon from a distance. However, when the enemy's cannon struck the ship, Angelica was thrown off and nearly fell. Olivia tried to save her, but ended up falling from the ship herself. Even so, Olivia appeared calm because she believed that Leon would come to save her. And she was right. Leon arrived just in time and rescued her. Afterward, Olivia asked why Leon had stopped calling her Livia. But Leon only told her to choose someone better than him. Olivia refused. She said that she only wanted to be with Leon and to experience those happy days again. Hearing those words, Leon finally realized how he felt. He stopped pushing Olivia away and called her Livia once more, just like he used to. Even though his armor was damaged and his battleship had been left behind, Leon made it to the battlefield. With his weapon in hand, he managed to turn the tide of battle. However, the enemy then deployed their elite force, the Black Knight. Rumor had it that the armor used by the Black Knight was powerful enough to take down dozens of warships alone. When Leon confronted him, he could not keep up with the Black Knight's speed. The attacks from the Black Knight destroyed the front part of Leon's armor. Leon was faced with 2 choices: to escape or to take an enormous risk, and he chose the dangerous path. Leon directly opened the enemy's armor and pointed his weapon at the pilot. In the end, the Black Knight surrendered. But the assault was not over yet. The enemy activated their ultimate weapon to gather all the monsters. Leon immediately ordered Luxion to use the orbital weapon capable of wiping them all out in a single strike. After returning to the academy, Leon received a duel challenge from Julius's group. He originally planned to fake a loss so that they could regain Marie's favor. However, the armor they created turned out to be unstable. If the duel continued, it could explode and kill the user. Because of that, Leon had no choice but to win. Leon had actually wanted to keep his achievement of defeating the Black Knight a secret. He even gave the credit to Chris, but because he was the one who captured Princess Hertrode, Leon was still awarded an honorary medal and promoted to a high-ranking noble. After being promoted multiple times, the students who once looked down on him finally began to show him respect. As for Marie, she could only watch in envy because all of her plans had ended in failure thanks to Leon. After receiving his award, Leon went outside with a heavy heart. But when he remembered that Livia was still waiting for his answer, he started to think, perhaps it was time to make up his mind. No matter the obstacles, no matter how difficult life in that world might be, Leon wanted to stay by Livia and Angie's side. The pacing of the anime in this season might have felt a little fast, but that was done on purpose, so we could move on to the light novel discussion without staying too long in the anime segment. Alright, thank you so much to everyone who has faithfully followed the story up to this point. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss the continuation of the story. See you in the next episode.